What's up everyone, TrueBlue here with a new video. This video was going to come out a while ago. Like, this was going to be a highlight video from clips of the Mario Splatfest, but then I couldn't really get too much footage because of technical difficulties. Then Splatoon 3 came out, I was like, let's make a video on that, and then just so much stuff happened, and the other videos got pushed, you know, ahead of it. So we're finally doing this, finally making Splatoon 3. We're going to do a top 5 of new features I would personally like to see. If you want to see more of these top 5s, 10s, etc. for various games, my hopes, you know, other random stuff, comment down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, you know, all that. Anyway, let's move on to this video already because it's been long overdue. Now, this list isn't in really any particular order, but they are numbered. So at number 5, we have new game modes. And by game modes, I don't mean, you know, like, you know, what you would find in League or Ranked. I'm speaking about like Salmon Run and like side modes and whatnot. Because what I personally want to see is, you know, proper mini games with the proper Splatoon mechanics. Not Squid Jump, not the rhythm one, none of that, none of that. They're great, but none of that. I'm saying full-on mini games using the actual mechanics of Splatoon with the shooting, turning into Squid, all that. I talked about this a bit on the podcast. A few of these things actually were gone over, so if you want, you can check that out, and then you can see some of our thoughts all together. But as it stands, you know, I think Splatoon would work great if you were to put in some form of actual capture the flag mode, because, you know, I love capture the flag, and any opportunity to do that digitally sounds amazing to me. Hide and seek would work very well. People already do that in just the standard map, so a proper hide and seek mode would be great. Any of those actual sort of mini games that people have been doing online in lobbies or with friends are already great foundations for various mini games that could be incorporated. So stuff like laser tag, or what are some of the other ones? The Pac-Man one that everyone likes playing. Some of my friends introduced me to a few. I'll probably remember them later on. I'll write them in post. But you know, maybe you could throw some form of dodgeball game where it's, you know, if you get hit, you lose, using maybe the football from Clan Blitz, you know? There's just so many different mechanics, and the engine is so amazing, and I would love to experience all these different things with Splatoon. Because, like, you know, it's fun to have the side mode, Salmon Run, that's great, and it's fun to have, you know, the other game modes alongside Turf, but none of them are really, you know, everything still has this competitive aspect instead of just the fun that you would find described about Turf. You know, Turf, it's just like, here, let's have fun with this and mess around in Turf. But then everything else feels more competitive. So I'd like to focus more on the fun part with these side modes, mini games, etc. We could get another sort of Salmon Run, you know, something along the lines where you work together with people. That would be fine. But honestly, I really do think if we're going to get a new game mode, actual full-on mini games is the way to go. So at the number 4 spot, we have more friend lobby customization. While, yes, lobby customization as a whole is, you know, a bit when it comes to Splatoon. The lobbies take a while to begin with, but none of that, you know, leave that as it is. They'll probably have a new just details and whatnot, so look cool, or maybe they'll add back playable, those little mini games and whatnot while waiting. But as it stands, friend lobbies, they're a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. For one, you can put a password, you can allow only friends, you know, that's fine. But why can't you just make like a little actual hub where you can just sit there and walk around and then the other people will appear? I know that's a bit much, especially for just a random lobby, and honestly it probably would just be too much extra work for really nothing, and a lot of people might not even use, but I think that would be cool. This would also be applied to like League, in the sense that you're going with friends and you just work together, but you wait in this custom lobby, this extra little thing where you just get together and you wait. It'd be cool. At the same time, it might be too much, it might be a bit of a pipe dream, but it would be cool. Honestly, I would just prefer it if maybe there was a bit more in the customization aspect of it, because you can choose ink colors for Turf. That's it. That's all the customization you have. It'd be cool if you can mess with the timer, maybe you could put your own rules, or you could make it so teams are, you know, maybe there's like a bot based off the story mode stuff. I feel like lobbies could have a lot more in them. I feel they could have a lot more to do. And while yes, it's just a way to play with friends and there's not really much more to it, I honestly think it could be taken to a whole new level. And YouTubers have already been playing so much with their friends on lobbies, making content off of it. So I think if you gave the extra customization, more people would be able to do extra stuff. YouTubers would be able to show it, more people would be able to play lobbies. It'd be this full cycle of just more people playing. And besides that, I do think it would be a lot of fun if you could just maybe, at the very least, customize the ink colors for any round. Now, I doubt they would allow, you know, you pick each individually. I think there are going to still be sets like it is currently with, you know, only pink and green, blue and yellow, whatever the colors are, you know? But I do think maybe if you could mess with the timer, or maybe if you could set the 3 or 5 minute timer, depending on, you know, like, you know, you pick the timer along with the game mode. Maybe you can have aspects for multiple game modes like clams and a rainmaker, you know? It's just little things like that that would really make lobbies cool. And this is kind of unneeded and really unnecessary. But I play a lot with my friends in lobbies, and honestly, it does get a bit boring just sitting there doing kind of the same game modes and whatnot. But, you know, I've also played a lot of Splatoon, so that's probably why. But at the end of the day, this isn't really a necessary feature, but I still think it'd be cool nonetheless to have extra stuff to do with friends. Now, this one is really stretching, but at the number 3 slot, we have a multiplayer campaign. I love the campaign mode. I think Octo expansion was amazing. I liked playing through Splatoon 2's story mode. I think it was a very good way to introduce people to Splatoon and the different mechanics, game modes, and just seeing everything, and, you know, the bosses. I think it was all really well made. But, you know, single player mode, it's still not the best. Octo expansion, I think, is perfect. I have no complaints about that. But imagine multiplayer. I'm not saying a team of 4, I'm saying you and one person. Heck, even if it was local co-op only, I think that would still be amazing if there was a special campaign only for multiplayer. Because I think there's a lot you could do with the already existing mechanics. Maybe you can make puzzles where one person has to go one way, the other has to go a different way, and they have to open up the path through different, the little things that you go into as a squid and it moves. I'll put up a picture, but, you know, those things, or I don't know. There's a lot they could do. They could add so many more mechanics. There's already movable platforms for buttons. I feel like there's so much they could do. And then imagine 2-player bosses. Imagine how hectic and crazy that would be and how much fun it would be. I love the story mode. I think the single-player campaign in Splatoon 2 is amazing. I haven't played Splatoon 1. I can't talk about that. But I can talk about Splatoon 2. I've played a heck of a lot of the story mode, trying to get all the hero weapons, and I've played way too much Octo expansion. It is a blast. So just incorporating all of that into some form of multiplayer would be amazing. We've already seen what single player mechanics look like in a multiplayer format. The Splatfest stages have already introduced everyone to a multiplayer styled single player experience, kinda, with invisible platform, movable platform, stuff that moves on its own. All of these various things that are in single player, now in a multiplayer format. It's already a lot of fun. Sure, those aren't just turf, but it still exists. It's still fun. People enjoy all those Splatfest stages. So getting an actual story mode where you have to fight enemies, you have to work with someone. Heck, you can make it where you're allowed to troll the other player and screw everyone over. It could be so much fun, chaotic, and all the above. But this is a pipe dream for sure, because it kind of ruins the whole single player thing, because if you have a multiplayer campaign, why do single player, you know? But if they make it local only, I think it will kind of solve any of those issues, but at the same time, it would suck if you want to play multiplayer campaign, but oh, you got no one around, so you have to play online. There's a bit of, you know, like a few things that I feel like could ruin the whole either online or single player experience through a multiplayer campaign. But at the same time, it would be so much fun. So, yeah, a pipe dream for sure. This is probably not going to happen. Out of everything on this list, I think this is the least likely to happen. But I will say, I really hope at some point we get some form of multiplayer campaign, if it be online or local. So at the number 2 spot, we have more hosts. I'm talking some form of rotational host. Maybe it's a set of 4 people and they just switch out every time, you know, the opening dialogue or just a band, whatever. I don't really know about the reasoning. Now, there's 2 main reasons why I just want more hosts, and I'm not saying you have them all together. It would be cool if maybe it was like a group of 3 and then there was 3 hosts announcing everything in the start, but that's kind of unnecessary. I'm saying I want more hosts just for the sake of every time I boot up the game, if I'm gonna be stuck with this unskippable cutscene that after like the 5th time witnessing it, it's basically the same and just honestly unnecessary. But if I had different people to look at, so it's different every day, maybe they would have a ton of different dialogue, so it's a bit unique. Sure, after a while, it would get a bit repetitive, but at the start, there's still a lot more time in between it being repetitive because it's just different every day. And even if it was a set of 3 people, that would also apply to Splatfest, and that's the main thing. If we had more people, that could have an effect on Splatfest. We could get Splatfest with teams of 3 or 4, and you would have a lot more variation in what you're gonna expect when you actually go into battle. You'll be fighting upwards of 3 teams, maybe 2 other teams, along with defending your own and trying to get more points. Maybe they could change the Splatfest scoring system to account for this, so it's a bit more balanced and everything, because I feel like, you know, more people just pick one team because it's a set of 4, it'll be more diverse, so it'll probably be a lot easier to track everything. And at the same time, also harder to calculate because it'll probably be more battles, and it'll be a lot. It'll be a big mess, but I do think the Splatfest having more teams would be really cool. And sure, we could continue with the tournament Splatfest style. There was that, you know, whole TMT one, you know, the Ninja Turtles and whatnot, but wouldn't it just be cool to have, you know, you pick one Ninja Turtle, you gotta fight them all. We could still have tournaments. I think tournament Splatfest are really cool. It's a really great way to defend a team and, you know, to support whatever it is. But at the same time, there are some cases where it feels like it could have just been one Splatfest. For example, the Ninja Turtles. That's like the only one that really comes to mind, but that one should have just been one Splatfest. You choose one of the Ninja Turtles. It was a sponsorship deal, I think, but you know, it's one of those cases where it's a bit weird. But it's Splatfest in that kind of style where it's really like, why is it split up? It should have just been one big one. But there's no more hosts, you know? There's only 2 in Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 1. But if in Splatoon 3 we get multiple people, we could be seeing bigger and badder Splatfest, and that would be really fun and add a lot more diversity to any old players who've played Splatoon 1 or Splatoon 2, because they've been playing with the same, basically, Splatfest formula for the past, God, what, 8 years? It's been a long time since Splatoon 1 came out, but Splatoon 2 is only like 4 years old, so it's still a long time either way. And, you know, changing up the whole Splatfest formula for a new host would be a lot, but at the same time, if they don't want to do that, we could at least have different people to look at during the opening cutscene. I don't think I'm the only one that says that opening cutscene is annoying. It's unnecessary, it's bothersome, and honestly, I could go without having to listen to 2 characters ramble with the same dialogue every time I want to play a damn match of Splatoon. So now, in the number 1 spot, we have loot box. I'm kidding, we're not doing loot. That was a dumb bit, but that's not it. At the actual number 1 spot, we have some form of vehicles. Now, I'm not saying make Splatoon into, you know, you grab a car, you GTA style freaking shoot people down in a car. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying some form of thing you can pilot during a match. If it be like a little skateboard that, you know, you can go a little bit of distance and there's only a few on each map and you gotta kill someone to take it, or a little scooter. I'm not saying we need whole cars, we need all of this. I'm saying just quick little things that could be added to Splatoon maps, especially in this more post-apocalyptic style where there'd probably be stuff scattered everywhere. It would fit in perfectly with the aesthetics already, and it would just be a lot of fun. Imagine having to manage your roller while on a little scooter. It'd be hard, but if you had maybe a gun, it would probably be easier. It could change the meta a lot of different maps. Maybe certain maps will have nothing, it'll be standard Splatoon, and there'll be a few special ones. Maybe they can reserve this for single player, or, you know, custom lobbies. Whatever the heck they're gonna do, it would be cool to just see some form of way where you can drive something. They could even attach this to an ability, make it, you know, a sub, or you can hop on a skateboard and it explodes or something. They can attach it to just a standard weapon and have that be some form of gimmick. It would be really cool to see some way of using a vehicle in a Splatoon match. It could add a lot more mobility and diversity in your kit, and it could just change up the whole game a lot more than it already is. Because from the looks of it, there's only a single trailer out, but from the looks of it, it's more of the same. We've seen Splatoon 1, we've seen Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, it's Splatoon. It's the same game at heart. It's a game where you paint on stuff and you get points off of it. If you could change that fundamental thing, this game will be big, it'll be revolutionary, it'll be fun. And I think vehicles is the best way to achieve that. Just a quick little ride. Heck, even if it was just a new animation for some form of weapon where the Inklings have roller skates. I don't know. Whatever the heck they want to do. Just some quick way of transport that could be added. You know, we saw a train. They got vehicles in this world. There's been broken cars all over the place on various maps in Splatoon. Why the heck can't we just get little something with wheels, a little board, whatever, and then use it? Maybe there's a ton of new slopes on certain maps, so you get boards to go down. Whatever the heck it is, I think vehicles could really shake up the whole world of Splatoon, and maybe it could be one of the new modes alongside Rainmaker or Tower Control. It's a new ranked mode, whatever the heck. Vehicles would be so cool, it would fit in with the world, it would make sense, and there's no real reason why it wouldn't be fun. The only issue is that it's probably really big of a leap for Splatoon to be adding something like that. So that's the only reason I don't see it happening, but I still want it. I still would like to see it maybe implemented a bit differently than what I'm talking about, but I still want to see something like this along the lines. It would be cool, it would be fun, but, you know, it would just... It's just the vehicles. Every game that gets vehicles at some point, you know. Tell me a shooting game that doesn't have something you can hop on and then, you know, a friend pushes you or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I had the shopping cart in Fortnite or whatever. Listen, vehicles will be sick, all I'm saying. I'll be honest and say, I don't really see any of this stuff happening. You know, vehicles, extra game modes, multiplayer campaign. We're probably not going to be seeing this in Splatoon 3. I really don't think we will. But it's still nice to speculate and think about, honestly, what the heck this franchise has in store for us. Splatoon 3 is already looking a lot different compared to Splatoon 1 and 2, along with Octo expansion. So it'd be really cool to see what Splatoon 3 has in store. So, you know, if you put in the comments below, what do you guys want to see? If, you know, any of these ideas, is there anything you want to expand upon? Or are my ideas stupid? Leave it in the comments down below, I don't mind. Also, comment down below if you want to see more Splatoon content, and or top 10s, or top 5s, or just top whatever. I don't know what number to go to. So, you know, comment all of that down below. You can also, while you're down there, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think that's everything I need to show for. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. It's been a blast. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you all next time.